All right, so let's make sure we can all like extend arms and not like hit anybody else going on. Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah. All right. It sure beats a few years ago when we could do that multiple times and not touch anybody, right? Because we were like 14 feet apart. It was kind of crazy. All right, so bring your feet right underneath your knees. Sit up right up close to the front edge of your chair, sort of on the top of the hill. That's what when you think about your chair, this chair, it kind of slides back and forward, and there's like a little hilly part. So you want to be right up on the top of the hill. And check your cell phones, please. Just make sure they're off, if you don't mind. I know that's always the thing. And then if you've got an Apple Watch, you just swipe down and tap your little bell. All right. Technology part of the lesson is done. So find your sitting bones. Are you on the front edge of your sitting bones, kind of on your thighs a little bit? Are you on the back edge of your sitting bones? Does it feel like your back is being pulled down? See if you can come right to the kind of the middle part of your sitting bones. So you're on the middle of your sitting bones on the top of the hill. All right? So far, so good. Good. And then lift your toes up. Spread them out a little bit, and then lower them down. And then see if you can just press down lightly into the bottoms of your toes. Notice which toes are making contact with the floor, which ones aren't. And if you're in your shoes, that's okay too. You can feel the inside of your shoes or the inside of your socks. So maybe you're noticing the big toes. You can feel the bottom of the big toes on the floor. Maybe you're feeling the little toes. Maybe you've got a toe that's crossed over, or you've got a hammer toe, so you can't really feel the bottom of your toe. You're feeling kind of the top of it. So as you're noticing what you're feeling there, see if you can put a little more emphasis into your heels. So can you feel your heels on the floor as well? And are you on the inside edge of your heels or the outside edge of your heels? See if you can go a little more on the outside edge of your heels. And as you press down, can you feel your muscles, your leg muscles, kind of activate a little bit? So you're not pushing really hard, but you're pressing down enough that if you were on like wet sand, you'd be leaving a footprint, say. And now notice if you're starting to lean forward to get that pressure. Make sure you kind of come back a little bit. Get your shoulders over your hips. And then ears over the shoulders. So one thing you can do is take your first finger and your thumb and just kind of give that little measurement. So where am I here? Yeah, I've got that. We tend to do this. So this just kind of pulls it back a little bit. And then press up through the crown of your head like you could lengthen your neck, the front, the sides, the back, and close your eyes. So notice all of these things that are happening in your body simultaneously. You're pressing down into your toes and your heels. Your leg muscles are waking up a little bit. You're on the middle part of your sitting bones. And from your sitting bones, you're lengthening your spine. You're coming all the way up. Your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips and your ears stacked on top of your shoulders. And notice your breathing. Are you able to breathe successfully in and out through your nose? Or do you require some auxiliary support through your mouth? And sometimes it's auxiliary support. If you have a breathing issue, that auxiliary support can be very helpful. But for a lot of us, we breathe in and out through the mouth, or we use the mouth as a auxiliary, and it's just habit. So see if you can breathe in and out through your nose. The nose is uniquely designed to filter and condition the air that you breathe in. So it gets it to just the right temperature. It filters out any particles. When you breathe in and out through your mouth, you lose that filter. So you're getting air that's not preconditioned for the lungs. You're getting air that's not filtered. And then notice how deeply or shallowly you're breathing. As you inhale and exhale, investigate where you feel movement in your body. Can you feel your rib cage expanding and contracting? Can you feel your belly moving in and out, or your waist? And perhaps you don't feel any movement or very limited movement. So begin to purposefully deepen your breathing, taking a long, slow, deep breath in as if you could fill your body from your belly button all the way to your collarbones. And then letting the breath out from the collarbones all the way down to the belly button. So breathing in, it's like filling a balloon from bottom to top, and then breathing out, it's like emptying that balloon from top to bottom. A couple more of these full deep breaths, and we're going to start to add a little bit of a count to the breathing. So now see if on the inhalations you can slowly count to 4, and on the exhalations also slowly count to 4. And it might be more challenging to count to 4 on the exhalations for many of us. We tend to be better at breathing in than we are breathing out. So give this a few rounds. If it takes a couple of rounds for you to feel comfortable breathing to 4 on the exhalation, just let that happen. Maybe you only get to 3 the first couple of times, and that's okay. Still breathing into 4 and out to 4, we're going to add a count to the holds, the pauses between the inhales and exhales. So as you breathe in, you're counting to 4, and then you're going to hold for a count of 4. And then you're going to exhale for a count of 4. And again, holding for a count of 4. So we hold full, and then we hold empty. In other words, we hold after the inhale, and then we hold after the exhale. So imagine it's like a box. It's a square, 4 on each side. 4 for the inhale, 4 for the hold, 4 for the exhale, and 4 for the hold. And you might find it a little challenging to hold for 4, especially when you've exhaled. That's a place that increases the tension in the body. The hold on the inhale can decrease the tension in the body. So again, just noticing the sensation when you're holding. Noticing the sensation when you're breathing in or out to that count of 4. After your next exhalation, you can let go of the control of your breath, let go of the counting, let go of making your breath deeper. Just let your body breathe the way it naturally breathes. And relax any tension in your muscles that you might have created through that breathing practice. Take a nice deep breath in together and let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes gently open and then take your arms up overhead. We're going to get a nice stretch this morning. So like you're waking up from a nap. Reach with one arm a little more. Yeah, if you got a yawn in there, let it out. That invites everybody to yawn. right? Yawns are contagious. They are so contagious, right? So just kind of reaching from one side and really reach up through one side and then the other. And then take your hands together down in front. We're going to interlace the fingers and then press your palms away. Drop your chin to your chest and really round through the upper part of your back. As you breathe in and out, see if you can feel movement in that upper part of your spine. And then slowly bring your arms up overhead. Good. And as you exhale, you're going to release your arms, bring them all the way down. Come to the back of your body, interlace your fingers again. And then keeping the elbows lifted, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So try to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Try not to do this with your chin, right? So you want to kind of sit up with the shoulders over the hips. And we're really squeezing those shoulder blades together, breathing in, breathing out. See if you can feel it right here in the front of the chest, the top part of the chest. And then let that go. Bring your hands back around to the front. Interlace the opposite way. So if this is the way you normally interlace with that thumb on top, just switch it. It should feel a little bit weird. It should feel a little strange here. If it feels really normal, you're wrong. You need to switch it. And then you're going to take your hands and press away. And again, just drop your chin to your chest, round through that upper spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Coming all the way up overhead, reaching up through the heels of the hands, and then sweeping the arms down, around, and behind you. Interlace in that weird way behind you. Same thing, squeeze the shoulder blades together, keep the elbows lifted. Try not to arch your back like this. You want to make sure you've got your head over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice tall spine. Good. And then relax that. Let your arms come back around. Let's just roll the shoulders a couple of times. I'm going to go right to the feet today because we're going to start at the foundation. So look down there at those feet. It's a little foot appreciation, right? So just notice. Notice your toes. Are they straight? Are they a little crooked? Is one of them bent? Is one of them kind of crooked? Maybe a couple of them are crooked. See if you can lift and lower your big toes. Just lift and lower. And just watch them. How easy is that to lift and lower the toes? Maybe it's challenging, maybe it's kind of easy. And then let the big toes rest, and we're going to just lift and lower all the little toes. So just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, noticing if that's easy or if that's challenging. Maybe it is more challenging on one side than the other. All right, and then lift all the toes up. So we're going to keep the tripods on the floor. So tripods, for those who don't know, that's the heel, the big toe knuckle, and the little toe knuckle. So you're going to keep your tripods on the floor, and you're going to lift all your toes up, hold them up nice and high, and then press your big toes down, just your big toes, and then lift them back up with the others. So we're just going to lower and lift just the big toes, not the little toes. So as you're doing this, breathing in, breathing out. Now, if your knees are in like this, we don't want to do that. We want to have the knees right over the ankles because that's going to challenge those big toes. So breathing in, breathing out. You all are pros at this now. And then we're going to keep those big toes lifted and lower and lift the little toes. So same thing, except now the big toes are lifted. And notice what your fingers are doing. Right? They're holding on or they're instructing, right? It's so interesting because the hands are so good at this and the feet are just not very good at this. If your hands were in leather mittens from the time you were 2, your hands wouldn't be able to do this either because basically that's what we've done with our feet, right? We've put our feet in leather mittens for our whole lives. Maybe not leather, but you know what I mean. All right. So then lifting all the toes up, how's that doing, right? Everything's good? You got control of your toes? Excellent. Let's press the big toe down and the baby toe down, but not the middle toes. And then lift them all back up. And you can look, have a look, big toe, baby toe, but none of the middle toes. And lift. Never say never. Big toe, baby toe, keep trying. Yep. And those those middle toes, if you're having a real challenge with this, you can reach down and hold the middle toes up. Kind of get that that connection going. So part of this is muscular, part of this is neurological, right? So the brain. How often do you do this? Every week in yoga class, right? Never during the week while you're alone. Good, everybody's doing great with this, right? Good. And then relax all of that. Whew. Notice if that tightened up your neck and shoulders, your jaw, your hands, right? So notice how doing something new, we try and recruit all this sort of peripheral muscular tension in the body to help us learn better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to come up on the toes and then come up on the heels. So we're lifting heels and then lifting toes. Sorry, I should be more consistent in how I say this. So you get it, right? You're lifting your toes and your heels are down, and then you're lifting your heels and your toes are down. Good. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So let's take the right foot only. We're going to extend that leg out. Have your heel on the floor, and we're going to just kind of check the length of that leg. So just notice how long your leg is. And then we're going to start to point and flex the ankle. So just pointing and flexing and breathing as we're doing this, right? So that breath, you can think about that the square breath that we were doing, right? You can think about your breath remaining square, or you can think about it as being round, right? So you're going from inhale to, there's a little pause, and then there's an exhale, then there's another little pause, and then we go back to inhale. So just flexing the ankle, just notice how that feels in the front, how that feels in the back, and then we'll start to circle at the ankle. So circling around. And notice which way you started circling first. In or out. I don't know what that means. And then go the other way. Good. All right, and then that heel comes back to the floor. Now we're going to be bending the knee, so we're going to come up the leg a little bit. What I'd like to suggest is you just take your hands and place them on the chair, like right alongside your hips. This just keeps your spine nice and tall, because what tends to happen is we start to round when we get a little bit tired. Pull your belly muscles in a little bit, and then we're just going to bend and extend that knee. Now we're going to go slow, so when you bend the knee, imagine you could touch your heel to the bottom of the chair. And then when you extend, you want to push out through that heel like you're trying to push something away, right? So going nice and slow, pausing at the end, right? So when I get to the end here, I'm really trying to get that heel up to the bottom of the chair. As I get to the end here, I'm really trying to press out through that heel a little bit more. Nice, round, smooth breath. Excellent. So get this little bit of movement here in the knee. Okay, and the next time that your leg is extended, we're going to hold here and breathe. So we've got the leg extended out, toes are reaching up toward the ceiling, toenails reaching toward your shin, right? So imagine that you can pull your toenails closer to your shin. Breathing in, breathing out, nice and tall. And then we're going to slowly lower down till the heel just touches, and then we're going to lift up again, right? So slowly lower down until the heel just touches, and then lift right up again. Breathing in, breathing out. This should be challenging. Is it? Good. Okay. 2 more times, slowly lowering. Don't bend that knee. Let the knee stay nice and straight. We're trying to work these quadriceps muscles, right? And the next time that you lift, you're going to hold. Yeah. Yeah, not like that. Good one, but no. Okay, now can we just rotate the leg in and out a little bit while it's up here? Well, this is a lot. If this is like way too much, just place your heel on the floor, and you can do it that way. Let's just do this a couple more times. That leg should be good and tired now, right? Yes. Okay, and slowly lower that leg all the way down. Take your foot, slide it underneath the chair. We're stretching the bottoms of the toes, and we're getting a little stretch here in the front of the thigh. Can you all feel that? A little bit of a stretch. Push down into your toes, and then relax. Push down into your toes, and then relax. And one more time, pushing down into your toes. We're going to hold here. Take your right hand off your chair and raise it up overhead. See if you can get a little taller there. So you're pushing down into your right toes. You've got a stretch coming up here, and then with the arm raised overhead, we're taking that stretch from the hip all the way up. And then let's just see if we can lean a little bit to the left, right? So as you're leaning to the left, it's less about caving into the left side as it is about getting long in the right side. Can you breathe while you're doing all this? Breathe smooth and easy. Good. And then come all the way back up. We're going to take that leg. We're going to extend it out. Heel on the floor. Both hands on your left thigh now. And we're going to hinge forward. So you all know your hips, your pelvis actually is what's on the chair. And we're going to hinge from where the hip joints are here. So right here where the leg comes into the body. We're going to hinge forward like you're trying to bring your navel down onto that thigh and then come back up. So nice and slow as we do this. Try not to round through your back. So in other words, we're not hunching over. We're keeping the back nice and tall. Keep the toenails reaching toward the shin. So don't let your foot relax. You want to make sure your foot is active the whole way. And the next time you come forward, you're going to hold here and breathe a little bit more. Good. And then take your right hand, slide it down your right leg. See how far down you can go. Can you get to your shin? Can you get to your ankle? Can you grab your big toe? Yes. Go for it. Excellent. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Then take that hand back to the left thigh. Push into your thigh with your hands and come all the way up. Excellent. Bend that knee a little bit. Bring the foot to the floor and then scoot your backside to the right edge of your chair. And then we're just going to take that foot using heel and toe, walk it way out. And then we're going to walk it way back. So you might need to reposition. You might find a better position for yourself. So we're just going to go in and out a few times using the ankle. So you've got some mobility there in the foot. It's actually not the ankle that has the mobility, not technically the ankle joint. It's actually the foot and the lower leg that are doing this kind of funny little dance. And the next time that you have that leg out to the side, hold here. And then check. Do you have like 90 degrees from your left knee to your right? Can you get that far? So that's about where we want to be, if you can. If you're like at 60 degrees, that's okay. You just don't want to go way more than that. So if you're more than 90, I'm going to ask you to bring it in a little bit. Your ankle should be underneath your knee. In other words, you don't want your foot way out here. You want to have your ankle underneath your knee. Okay, so your body might be starting to drift to that right side. See if you can find your sitting bones, right? And see if you can move from your sitting bones so that you're facing forward. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let that all relax now and notice how you just sort of drift over to that side. Then push into your sitting bones and using your sitting bones, come back to that position. Excellent. So you're facing forward. And now this leg, this right leg, we're going to engage the muscles in the back of the, on the side of the thigh and in the side of the hip. We're going to pull that knee toward the wall behind you, right? So pull the knee as hard as you can. It's like you could touch the wall behind you. Can you feel all those muscles in the side of the hip, the glutes, the outside of the leg? And everybody's so happy about that. I can see. That's great. We're going to take the elbow and forearm, the right elbow and forearm, and bring it down onto that leg, right? So we're here on this leg, and we're lifting and lengthening through the spine. So let's come back up for a second. So there's a difference. I want to show you the difference. See if you can kind of pick this up, right? So this is just falling into the side, right? This is coming over and leaning into the side. Can you see how long my body stays when I do it that way? That's what we want to do. So you're pressing down into your foot. You're pulling the knee toward the back wall. You're lengthening through your spine. You're just putting a little bit of your weight into this arm, right? And then we're going to take the left arm up overhead, if that works for you. If it doesn't, just bring your arm as high as you can, and then we're going to bring it back down. So we're just going to do this a couple of times. And as you bring the arm up, if you can bring it over, see if you can lean more into that leg, right? I like to inhale as my arm comes up. You may choose to inhale as your arm comes down. So whatever works for you. The next time that you have your arm up overhead, we're going to hold here. Now you're really leaning weight into this leg. Is that true? Excellent. And your foot is on the floor? And you're pulling your knee toward the back wall? Okay, can you breathe? All right, let's add one more thing to this. Can you lift up onto your toes and then lower down? Good. Okay. So you're pressing into your toes, you're lifting your heel and lowering, you're pulling your knee to the back wall, your arm is up overhead, you're breathing and smiling and having a wonderful time. Good. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. How about one more time? Coming up and down. Great. Bring that arm all the way down. Excellent. Let's take that leg, extend it out. So now your heel is on the floor. Again, no more than 90 degrees here. Your heel's on the floor. Toenails are reaching toward your shin. And then using your sitting bones to steer, you're bringing yourself forward this way. Excellent. And we're going to take the left hand to the chair, right? So again, with the breath, we're just going to lean to that left side and then come back up, right? So don't let go of the connection and the contraction of the muscles in this right leg. So we're still using the muscles there in the right leg. And if you'd like, you can start to add the arm, the right arm, if that feels okay. As you come over to the left, you can bring that arm up and over. And again, think about lengthening your body, right? So we're coming up and over, right? As opposed to just kind of crashing into that left side, right? So we're getting some length in the body. You should be feeling a stretch here in the front on the right a little bit. You might be feeling it in the leg. Well, chances are you are definitely feeling it in the leg, in the arm, lots of places, right? How about one more time? And we're going to hold for maybe just a couple of breaths if you can. So think about getting your fingers as far away from your heel as possible. So that means press out through the heel a little bit more. Lift your toenails toward your shin. Reach out through your fingertips. Take a deep breath. Turn the palm of your hand up toward the ceiling. Push up. Ooh, that changes things, right? Wow. Relax your jaw. And then come all the way up. Excellent. Relax this leg. Use your heel and your toes. We're just going to walk that foot back and then scoot your backside to the center of your chair. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. Right? Okay, so we're sitting here with the right leg crossed over the left. If that doesn't work, you can cross at the ankle. Okay, so that's fine. So from here, squeeze your inner thighs together. As you squeeze your inner thighs together, you want to come all the way up to your glutes. So you should feel yourself get a little taller when you do this, right? So when you squeeze the inner thighs together, everybody sits up, right? And then relax. Good. We'll do this a couple more times. So we're squeezing the inner thighs together and relaxing. And one more time, squeeze the inner thighs together and relax. Good. Take your left foot, walk it out to the left a little bit so it's not underneath your knee. And then see if you can get the outside edge of your right foot to touch the outside edge of your left leg. So in other words, the leg that's on top, the outside edge of that is going to touch the outside of the leg that's on the bottom. Okay. If you can get that, see if you can wrap your foot around that ankle a little bit. Maybe get your baby toe back there. Maybe get the whole foot back there. Maybe it's just a dream. Like you can remember doing that, but it's not happening now. That's okay. So here's the trick, right? So besides breathing, see if you can keep either the foot against the leg or the foot wrapped around the leg and start to walk the left foot over to the right. As soon as you lose contact, so here I am, I've got my foot on my leg, I get my foot this far, I've lost contact, I want to bring my foot back. So the contact of the foot and the leg is the most important piece, right? And notice if you're starting to contort your body to try and get that to happen. See if you can relax, press into your sitting bones. Are you on one sitting bone more than the other? Yeah, notice that. Are you breathing more than the minimum? Okay, so unwrap your foot if that's the case. Take your left foot, walk it back to the right so that it's directly underneath your knees. And now we're going to take this leg and slide the ankle up on top of the thigh. Okay, so as you slide the ankle on top of the thigh, one of the things that can happen is this, right? Because this is really challenging. So see if you can take that knee, lift it up, like you could bring your knee to your shoulder. If you're crossed here, you're fine. So you're going to hang out. So we're lifting that knee up and then press into the sitting bones and lengthen your spine. Notice it's a lot easier to hold your spine upright when you have a little assist on the hip. So now you're going to press into your sitting bones, keep the spine lengthened, and then see if you can just let go of the support of that leg. Just kind of let that knee go down as far as it's going to go. Everybody got that? Okay. So just notice where that is. And now, just like we were doing when the leg was out to the side and I had you engaging the muscles here on the side of the hip, I'm going to have you engage those muscles again to pull your knee down toward the floor, but don't let your spine round, right? So maybe I'm pulling down and I'm going like a 1/4 inch, and that's it. Or maybe I'm pulling down and I'm getting a really good stretch through there. And then relax. So we're just kind of testing this out, pulling down and relaxing, not pushing down, right? So we never want to push on the leg. We want the hip to actually be doing the work. We want the muscles in the outside of the hip to actually be doing the work here. Breathing in, breathing out. A few less smiles right now, because this one is a little bit of a challenge. Good. Okay. One more time, we're going to press that knee down toward the floor and hold. And then just for fun, let's see if we can lean forward, bring the navel toward the thigh. So even if you're crossed right here, just bring your navel down toward your thigh. Right? So breathing in, breathing out. Good. And then come all the way up. Excellent. We're going to take this leg off of the other one. However, we're going to grab hold of the back of the leg. So yeah, you can use your hands this time. We're going to pull that leg off and then see if you can pull your knee up to your chin. Right? You're trying to get your knee as close to your chin as you can, but your chin doesn't care about your knee. Your chin's not interested in a relationship here, but your knee is. So lift up a little bit higher if you can. Good. And then slowly assist and lower that down. Hold on to your chair. Extend both legs. Point your toes. Reach as far as you can with both feet. So your toes are on the floor and you're crawling your toes across the floor. And notice how much longer the right leg is than the left. Everybody got a longer right leg than a left leg? Amazing, right? Amazing. Let's bend the knees, bring the feet back here, and then we're going to take the left leg, extend it out. And we're going to start by pointing and flexing. So going right back to the beginning. Oh, this leg has a little more music. Yeah. So pointing and flexing. So this is the movement available at the ankle, right? The ankle joint itself allows you to flex, to plantar flex and dorsiflex, they call it. But then that's 2 flexes, and that gets very confusing. So point and flex is just an easier way to remember. And then we're going to circle at the ankle. So we're circling kind of at the ankle, but the ankle's not actually doing the circling. It's the foot and the leg above. You have 2 bones in your lower leg. Did you all know that? You have your tibia, that's the big bone. That's the run into the coffee table in the middle of the night bone. And then your fibula, that's the broken ankle bone. And then reverse direction. Now, did you go in the same direction on this side than you did on the other side? Isn't that interesting? All right. And then heel comes down to the floor. Okay, so both hands alongside your hips here. So we're just kind of checking the integrity of the body. Shoulders are on top of the hips. Excuse me, belly muscles are engaged. And we're going to be bending and extending the knee again. Nice and slow. When you get that heel underneath, it's like you could kick the bottom of your chair and then extend and give it a little squeeze there at the top. So bending and bending and bringing that heel as close to the bottom of the chair as you can. And you should feel that in the back of the thigh, right? So those are your hamstring muscles. That's like the little Charlie horse muscles. Yes. Good. Couple more. Okay. And the next time you extend, you're going to hold here. right? So your toenails are reaching toward your shin. Your belly muscles are nice and strong. You've got your hands here for support, and then you're going to slowly lower down just until the heel kind of touches, and then lift right back up. And then lower down just till the heel touches and lift back up. So it's a slow movement down. That's a little faster movement on the way up. So this is a really good way to strengthen thighs, strengthen knees, strengthen hips, right? If it's hard, that's good. Hard means there's potential for so much more ability there, right? If this was easy, you'd be like, oh, whatever. Next time you lift, can you hold and breathe? And let's rotate in and out just a couple of times. Holy smokes, right? Is your leg on fire? All right. Good, that's what we want, firing up those muscles. And then we're going to lower that all the way down. Whew, bend the knee. Bring your foot, slide it right underneath your chair. You're stretching the bottom of your toes, and you're stretching right here where we were just working, these quadriceps muscles. If you push down into your toes, you should feel a little bit more of a stretch here through that thigh, and then we're going to take that left arm up, right? So you're sitting up nice and tall, and as we lean to the right, remember it's up and over. It's like you're trying to get as much length in both sides of your body at the same time. So we're just kind of going back and forth a little bit. If your arm going up doesn't feel okay, like if your shoulder is kind of a little wonky, you can just use your hand on your shoulder here, or you can even have your hand on your hip or on your waist. That's absolutely fine. So just a couple more of these, getting up and over. Good, everybody's doing great. Excellent. How about one more time we go over and hold and breathe, and you're still pressing down into your toes. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. And then come all the way up. Excellent. Let that come all the way down. We're going to take that foot out, scoot over to the left side of your chair. We're going to use heel and toe and walk or wiggle that foot out and then back. So we'll do this a few times, right? So you're going to find your kind of your sweet spot by doing this a few times. And notice if on this side, if you tend to track, if your torso tends to track the leg more or less. Usually on one side, we'll track our upper bodies will track our leg movement a little bit more than the other. Okay, so next time you have that foot out, hold it out there. Check that you're no more than 90 degrees from one knee to the other, and then using your sitting bones, turn so that your torso is facing this way. So that should provide a bit of a challenge for this leg, for this thigh. And then you're going to engage the muscles here in the outside of the hip and the outside of the leg and pull that knee toward the back wall. So you're pulling the knee toward the back wall and then let it go. And again, we'll do this a couple of times, just kind of pulling the knee toward the back wall and then relaxing. Breathing in, breathing out so the spine is nice and tall. Excellent. Next time you pull the knee toward the back wall, hold there. All right, so again, you're facing forward. Your knee is kind of perpendicular to, say, your shoulder, right? And then we're going to take the left elbow and forearm, come up and over, right? So don't just kind of crash into the left side. You want to be lengthened up and over into that side. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take the right arm up and down. So we're just going to sweep this a few times. So put as much weight as you want into this left arm, into the left leg. And we're just exploring what we can here. Excellent. Everybody's breathing. Next time the arm is up overhead, we're going to hold here and breathe and reach. Again, your hand can be here, your hand can be on your hip, whatever feels most comfortable. And then let's just get a little more fun here. So we're going to lift up onto the toes and then down. So more weight in this arm, so leaning more into this side is going to give you a little more workout in that lower leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Couple more. Excellent. How about you come up on your toes and stay there for just a breath? I don't think we did that on the other side, but that's okay. And then lower back down. Good. Take that arm down, come all the way up, extend this leg, heel on the floor now. So it's just the opposite. extending, keeping the body facing forward, toenails reaching toward your shin, right? Take your right hand now, place it on the chair, and then we're going to lean into that right side and keep that leg really active and extended. So we're leaning. You can add the arm whenever you want, you guys. That's fine. Yep. So as we're leaning, I want to make sure you're feeling this, the engagement of that left leg, and then a stretch from where the leg comes into the body. That's like right up in the hip area, and then all the way. And when you're ready, if you're ready to add the arm, you can do that as well. So we're leaning that way. Yeah, there you go. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Excellent. And notice if it's easier to lean on this side than it was on the other. And how about the next time you come over, you hold for just a breath or two, right? Breathing in, breathing out. Bring as much length, as much distance from your fingers to your heel as you possibly can. You could even turn the palm of your hand up toward the ceiling. Encourage that arm to move up a little higher by turning the corners of your mouth up. That helps. It does. Attitude is everything, right? Awesome. And then come all the way up. Whew. All right. Let's bend that knee a little bit. Heel and toe, the foot back in. We're going to come right back to the center of the chair and then cross that left leg on top of the right. Okay. So again, if crossing knee on knee works for you, great. If it doesn't, you can always cross here at the ankle. So once again, we're just going to explore the engagement of the thighs. So engage those inner thighs, squeeze them together so that the outside edge of your top foot goes closer to the outside edge of your lower leg. Okay, so do that a couple of times just to see where you're at. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. And then the next time that you relax that leg, we're going to take the right foot, just scooch it out to the right a little bit, and then engage those inner thigh muscles, squeeze. See if you can get the foot so that it's touching that lower leg. So you might have to, like some people have to have the leg really out there quite a bit. Some people won't have to have it out there quite so much. If you want, see if you can take that foot and wrap it around. So maybe you get the little toe around there, maybe you get the big toe around there. Breathing in, breathing out. So whatever you've got, if you've got your foot touching the outside of the leg or you've got your foot wrapped around the leg, you want to keep the foot and the leg in close contact, and to challenge this, take that left foot back to the left a little bit. As soon as you start to lose contact, as soon as that foot pops off the leg, or it feels like, you know, you're contorting your knee in a bad way, you want to make sure you don't do that. You want to go over to the right a little bit more. And breathe and sit up nice and tall. Excellent. And just for fun on this side, we're just going to hinge forward a little bit from the hips, like you're trying to bring your navel down onto your thigh and then come back up. So we have all this twisting happening in the legs. We've got this movement happening in the hips. Good. Excellent. How about just one more time? You should be feeling this somewhere in this left side. All right, excellent. And then relax that leg. Bring your right foot back to the center, so meaning directly under your knee. And then we're going to slide this left ankle on top of the knee. Now, again, you might notice as soon as you do that, that your back does this, right? So what we want to do is support the leg, lift it up, come up nice and tall. You can be like this. That's absolutely fine to have your leg like that. So we're just going to sit up nice and tall here. Breathing in, breathing out, and then see if you can let go of that leg, right? Just let it find its natural position. Let the weight of the leg just sort of act as a little bit of attraction here. Not attraction, act as traction. Okay, so now we're going to engage the muscles here in the outer part of the leg and pull the knee down toward the floor. So this is more of an active movement, and then relax. And just gently pulling down and relaxing. So we're not pushing, we're just using the muscles to do this. Now you might notice this side, maybe the knee is up higher than it was on the other side. Maybe it's lower than the other side. Maybe you feel it in a different place as you're doing this movement. Perhaps it's more in the knee or more in the lower leg. Maybe it's up into the sort of the lower part of the back as you're doing this. So the next time that you're pulling your knee down toward the floor, I'm going to ask you to just hold here, lengthen through your spine, And then we're going to hinge forward from the hip creases, like you're trying to bring your navel down onto your thigh. Oh boy, that's a good one. And then we're going to come back up. Yeah. Let's do that just a couple of times. So just coming forward as far as feels comfortable. Good. Yep. How about just 2 more? Coming forward and back up. And then 1 more. Come forward. Excellent. And all the way back up. Great. Now, we're going to use the hands once again to just kind of assist this leg as we take the ankle off the knee. And we're going to lift that left knee as close to your chin as you can get it. As close to your chin. And your chin is indifferent to your knee. Right? Yeah, the knee is pursuing the chin, and the chin could not care less. There you go. I see knees getting higher. All right, and then we're going to slowly lower that all the way down. Hands on the chair, extend both legs, toes on the floor. Reach, reach, reach. Get as long as you can. Point your toes. And hopefully your legs are the same length. Yeah? Anybody got a longer left leg? No? Good. Thank goodness. All right. Phew. All right. You would have to do the other side. Yeah, but we're going to keep moving on, so you would have to do that on your own. So that just illustrates, just noticing like that leg length difference when we did the first side to the second side. That just gives us the validation that stretching things actually can help increase some length. Now, is that length permanent? No. Because you're going to move in your habitual ways, right? But if you have, if you have a cranky knee or you have a cranky hip, if you've got a little arthritis, these are things you can do. Just kind of these gentle movements, these gentle stretchings can help to create some space, because joint pain can sometimes be alleviated if we can create more space in the joint. And a joint is made up of a bone on the top, or a bone on one side and a bone on the other side, right? And then you've got the joint in between. This is a synovial joint that we're talking about, like the knee. So you've got the space in between is the joint. If the muscles on either side of that joint are really tight, it's going to pull the ends of the bones a little closer together. So when you go to move in an already inflamed situation, it's just going to exacerbate that pain and discomfort. So with a little bit of stretching, a little bit of lengthening in here, you might actually get a little bit of natural pain relief. All right? Okay, so we've completely neglected the upper body. This has been an all kind of lower body workout, but we'll do a little bit of work for the upper body. So take your hands, let's just squeeze and extend fingers, right? So fingers are like toes, only they're up here, and they're a little longer, and we use them more. So as you're doing this, notice if all your joints work the same, or if some joints work a little differently. Right? So maybe you've got a little arthritis. If you're over 40, I'm going to say you probably have a little arthritis. And then you're going to extend your fingers as wide as you can go. So take your baby finger and your thumb as far away from each other as they'll go. So you're making your hands as wide as they can be, right? Keeping all the fingers extended here. And then relax, right? And then let's do that again. Extend the fingers. So relax your shoulders. So your shoulders aren't doing this work. Your jaw is definitely not doing this work. Maybe your toes are helping, but that's okay. And then relax. So we're going to do that just a couple more times. Just really spreading them out. Actually, let's do it with the palms up, just for fun. I'll try something with the palms up. And then relax. And one more time. So really spreading the hands nice and wide. Breathing in, breathing out. And then relax. Good. Shake that all out. All right. Take your elbows in toward your body. So it's like you're trying to hold your waist in with your elbows, right? And now we're going to take the hands and we're just going to circle the wrists. Just the wrists. So if your elbows are pushing into your body, because sometimes what happens when we do this, I see people doing this, like with all this elbow action. So what we're trying to do is this. Now, spread your fingers as you do this. And see if you can make like a little figure 8 or a little infinity circle, right? Everybody know what an infinity looks like? It's like an 8 lying sideways that's been sat on. It's a little squishy. I don't teach math, so I don't have to be really good with that stuff. Okay, and then make a little light fist and do the same thing. Make some circles. So again, your arms are in. So if your arms are moving, if your arms are like doing this, I want you to hold them in really tight. We want to isolate this to the wrists. And then see if you can reverse the direction or make a little infinity loop. And breathe. Excellent. And then let that go and shake things out a little bit. Okay. Now we'll get some elbow movement. So taking the arms out to the sides, hands lower than your shoulders. So you don't want your arms way up here. You want to have them a little bit lower than your shoulders. Palms up, fingers nice and wide, and then we're just going to bend and tap. Right? So feel your elbows moving here. Great. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. We're going to keep the right arm extended and bend just the left, and then we're going to switch. So we're going from side to side. Yeah. And notice how your body wants to do this too, right? Yeah. It's kind of fun. All right. And then see if you can sync them up again. So you got both out and both in. And then one in and one out. One in, one out. And then both in and both out. And then one in, one out, both in, both out, one in, one out, both in, both out, and shake it out. Okay, so weird kind of movement, right? Good for the brain, good for the brain. Take your right arm, we're gonna circle it up and around, get a little movement in the shoulder. So we're going through the joints here, right? We did the fingers, the wrists, did the elbows, we're doing the shoulder, nice big circle. Notice which way you're going, forward or backward. And then next time your elbow's down toward the floor, switch it up, go the other way. Right? So you're making as big a circle as you can. Maybe it's a little circle. Maybe your shoulder is saying, nope, this is it for me today. That's great. See if you can make a figure 8. Figure 8. So that's a fat infinity. All right. And now, for fun, write your first name in cursive. And dot I's and cross T's and Q's if you've got any of that, right? So whatever you got in there. Okay. All right. How about one more time? Oh, yeah. If your first name is like 3 letters, that's no fun. All right. Shake that out a little bit. Great. Okay. So we're going to take the other side and we're also going to circle here. So again, just noticing, what do you feel in your shoulder? Is this shoulder cranky? Was the other shoulder cranky? Is the shoulder noisy? Maybe the other shoulder was more noisy. Maybe this one goes higher. Next time the elbow's down, we're going to switch direction. And the reason I say have your elbow down when you switch direction is that your shoulder is in its least vulnerable position when it's down. When your shoulder's extended like this, it's kind of vulnerable. You would never lift something and hold it like that, right? You always hold it in close to your body because you want to give that shoulder some support. Where were we? 8s? Were we doing 8s yet? 8s. Okay, 8s. Okay, and then last name. Oh. Don't forget T's, I's, Q's. Little squirrely things that you like to do on your signature, right? If you have something fun. If you have a really short last name, do it at least a couple of times. I'm blessed with a long name, so I get to do it. All right, we're breathing. Shoulder is saying, what the heck is this business? No idea. Okay, and then kind of let that go. I did dot my I. Did you notice that? Yep, I did dot my I. Okay, roll your shoulders a couple of times here. Excellent. All right, and then we're just going to do one more little movement here, and this is for the neck. So we're kind of coming up into the upper part of the body. So take your chin all the way to the right, as far as it'll go. Try not to move your shoulders and your body. It's just the chin. So we're trying to use just the neck. And then come back to center, and we're going to go to the left. So this can be one of the most challenging. We're going to keep going, right? So very slowly come back through center and then over to the other side. So feet flat on the floor as you're doing this. This can be one of the most challenging movements we have for a lot of us. Our necks are so tight, we get like a third of the way over or a quarter of the way over to one side, and we can't move it anymore, or we move it and we have pain. So just kind of going through this little range of movement is very helpful. You should do this every day, at least a couple times a day. Good. And then the next time you come back to center, we're going to just bring the chin down. So there's a little notch in your collarbone. So if you take your finger, you can find the little notch in your collarbones. So you're going to bring your chin down, and then you can even open your mouth. See if you can get your chin to touch your finger, where your finger is in the notch. Or if your finger's not there, then touch the notch. So you might have to really work at that. And then close your mouth and bring your head back up. And do a little stretch. So with the finger here, you'll start to feel the stretch right there. You can feel the skin stretching. And then come back down. Same thing. Come all the way down. Open your mouth. Touch your chin to your finger. And then come all the way back up. Feel that little bit of a stretch. One more time. Coming all the way down. Open your mouth. Touch your chin to your finger. Close your mouth. Come all the way back up. Excellent. And then release your hand. And one more movement for the neck. So, we're going to do one more movement for the neck this morning. So, take your finger and place it on your chin, right? And we want to take the chin back toward the back wall, right? So we're going to push the chin in this way and then release it. So you get that? It's like pushing the chin back. It's like you're trying to make a double chin, right? So you're trying to push your chin back and then relax and come forward. So your head's not moving up and down. It's not moving to the side. It's just moving straight back. So just a couple more of these. This is a movement that we don't avail ourselves of very much. So most of us don't have good awareness of this movement, and we don't have good accessibility to this movement. So kind of pushing back a little bit and then relax. Okay. So that's a really good movement. If you tend to have like a tight neck, chances are this is our posture these days. This is our posture always, right? It's not just these days. I think throughout our humanity, this is kind of our posture. Because we've got gravity kind of pushing down on us, and a lot of what we do today is seated, and we're looking at things that are closer to us. You know, we're not gazing off into the distance. We're doing something, say, within 20 feet. So when we get into this position, the back of the neck gets short, and the front of the neck gets long, and it can lock into that position. We're just doing this little movement actually lengthens some of the tightest tissue between the back of the head and the top of the shoulder. It can actually help you to lengthen that tissue a little bit. So it's just something you can do anytime. Watching TV, waiting for a light in the car, and if somebody notices, just give them a little wave. Standing in line at the grocery store.
Be careful what finger you use.
Be careful what finger you use. Unless it's intentional, and that's completely up to you. All right. So come to a comfortable seat. So if you want, you can sit into the back of your chair. Yes, this is everybody's favorite part, right? Yeah. For us shorties, sometimes we like to be up near the front of the chair because I like my feet on the floor. So once you're comfortable, close your eyes. Take a couple breaths in and out. You can maybe get a sigh in there. Yeah. Relax your whole body. So relax your toes and your feet. The toes and feet did a bit of work today. Relax your ankles and shins, your knees, those thighs. Oh my God, those thighs. We did a lot of work on the thighs today. The hips. Relax your back. Relax your hands and fingers, your thumbs. Relax your wrists and forearms, your elbows. Relax those shoulders and your neck. So just letting your head, imagine your head's like a water balloon and it's just kind of hanging out on top of your shoulders. So your neck is very relaxed. And if your teeth, your upper teeth and lower teeth are touching each other, see if you can create a little space there. Just maybe open your mouth a little bit. Just give a little space between the upper teeth and lower teeth. Breathe in, breathe out. And notice what you're aware of in your body right now. Notice if you're more aware of something that you were not aware of at the beginning of class. Maybe it's a physical sensation that you have that you didn't have before, or maybe it's just that it's been called to your attention. And notice your breath, just your natural breath. Can you feel movement in your body as you breathe in and out? And perhaps that's different than at the beginning of class. Can you take a couple of really long, slow, deep breaths in and out, really slowing the breath down? As you take those long, slow, deep breaths, can you feel more movement in your body? More space in the ribs, more space in the belly, the chest, the back. Watching the air move in and out of your body. Next time you take a breath in, hold it for just a moment and let it go with a sigh. And then maybe bring your hands together and just take a moment to appreciate yourself. Appreciating your body for what you can do, for the potential for your body to do different things, more things, unusual things. And maybe a little gratitude to the breath for the breath's role in making all of that movement and inhabiting your body possible. And then if you'd like, you can open your eyes and just sort of acknowledge all these wonderful people in the room with us. There's a big crowd today. Good. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of this amazing day. Yeah. You're welcome. I'll see you next time.